The European sports car maker Spyker is looking to take its Saab brand to lucrative markets such as China, Russia, Brazil, even Mexico. Now, in February, Spyker bought the struggling Swedish brand from General Motors, and my guest is the chief executive of Spyker. He's also the founder and chairman, and he's also the head of Saab. Victor Muller, welcome to Taking Stock. Good to have you with us.
Thank you, Ben.
Now, the last time you and I were together, you gave me a wonderful test drive in one of the new Saabs, and admittedly, it was still based a little bit on the Opel platform. I know that you've been pushing ahead to make a real Saab. Give us an update.
Well, that car, the new 9.5, is definitely a Saab.
Okay.
It shares a lot of the components with the Opel Insignia, but clearly 70-75% of the parts are true Saab parts. So it's not really an Opel at all.
Well, no, and indeed, I should say, I mean, even the speedometer is like an altimeter in the car. So you've got little touches inside that harken to Saab's pedigree as an aviation
company, a plane maker. But that car has now been launched in the United States. More and more are coming into the country, and it's very well received. And we need that because, of course, we took the company out of a liquidation phase. It was a very tough time, particularly the first few months since production started back in March, to get everything back up and running. 800 suppliers, which completely disrupted the supply chain. But things are looking up very much right now.
Now, I know that you're a car aficionado. I mean, it's not just Saab, but the Spyker brand of cars as well. Those are the super fast, super cars. What can we see on the horizon for Saab? I know you've been doing some drawings recently of the old teardrop shape for Saab.
Sure. But that is a plan that I have for let's say the smaller A-segment car, the car in which the Audi A1 competes, for instance. But that car is not part of our business plan at this time. So it's an ambition. It's number one wish on our list, but definitely not as close by as, for instance, the new 9.4X, which we're launching in November next month at the Los Angeles Motor Show, the first true crossover that the brand has ever had. And in 2012, we'll see the new 9.3, which is a beautiful, really true Saab profile and proportions car, penned by Jason Castriota, our new chief designer, formerly head of Pininfarina, and I think the most talented young designer we have worldwide. He's now joined us.
So you got the 9.4X and you've got the 9.3 coming out. How difficult has it been to sort of get the dealership behind Saab once again? Because as you said, it's a lot about making sure that people understand that the brand is still alive and well.
Well, the dealers know. But strange as it may seem, in spite of all the attention that the transaction has had, there's still a lot of people out there that think that Saab is not well or not alive and kicking. Well, I've got news for them. Saab is in great shape. We're bringing wonderful new products, and strange as it may seem, 2 years from now, the new 9.3 in place, the new 9.4X in place, and the new 9.5. The new 9.5 will be the oldest car on the showroom floor. So it's the newest and most widespread product portfolio the brand has ever seen in its entire 63-year history. So we're quite excited about it, and of course America is the #1 market for us. So we're really eager to push the brand back into the owners and passionate collectors that have had Saabs in their past.
Now, I mentioned some geographic areas of interest, whether it be China or Brazil or even Mexico. I mean, are you going to be pushing those markets as well?
Definitely, particularly because they are currently not really in our business plan. So the business plan foresees growing to 80,000 cars next year, 120,000 cars by 2012. But that is without serious growth in those countries. So if we manage to make progress in those markets, that is going to be a bonus for the whole company.
Now, what about money? I mean, that always comes to factor into making automobiles. You've got enough money for a certain amount of time in order to put this business plan into action?
Definitely. We have what's called a fully funded business plan. It was about $1 billion that we started off with, and if we keep on meeting our targets of the business plan as we're currently doing, we will not need any fresh cash until we reach profitability, which we anticipate will be the case by 2012. So, and then of course, it's a self-generating process. So we should, in principle, be fine without any additional cash infusions.
Now, what about connections or joint ventures with other automobile makers for parts, for engines? Are we going to see any announcements in the future?
We announced 2 weeks ago that we've made a deal with BMW on the petrol engine, 1.6-liter turbo petrol engine. We consider this a first step. We are definitely going to endeavor to make more agreements with BMW. It's the #1 player in the premium market segment. Have them as our supplier is a fantastic way to further premiumize our brand. But what I've said on various occasions is that the perfect storm that raged through this industry has had a lot of positive effects too. Not only that we could buy Saab from GM, which was clearly a positive benefit, but also the fact that every car maker currently thinks about one thing only, and that is how can we bring our break-even point down? And the quickest fix to bringing your break-even point down is sharing your technology, because it's already paid for. And so Saab is not only on the receiving end of buying technology, but also the selling end. We sold the previous generation 9.5, for instance, to Beijing Automotive for $200 million. That money was in the bank when we acquired the company. That was a part of the $1 billion of funding.
So you already had that with you?
That was in the bank. And so what we'll see is that what you'll see in this industry is a tremendous number of technology sharing agreements between OEMs. I don't think you'll see massive takeovers, but you'll see people starting to sell and transfer the technology to their peers. And that is a very positive development, particularly for a relatively small player like Saab.
Now, I should just mention that you got an award from your peers, didn't you, recently in Paris?
Well, I was very honored, you make me blush, very honored that I was awarded the Entrepreneur of the Year award in Paris by Automotive News. And that was indeed among our peers, and I was really pleased with that.
Best of luck for you. Thank you very much for joining us. Victor Muller coming to us, Spyker and Saab.